Right. This might be somewhat challenging to play. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes. I've spent years playing the best MMO games available. Now it's time to do the opposite and find the worst of the worst. I'm going to play them all so you don't have to. Join me on a journey through the most awful MMOs I can find. Drop a like on the vid and sub to the channel for more awful MMOs and ring the bell so you don't miss a single video. If you're enjoying the series, please consider supporting through the Patreon, link in the description below. Today we're playing Riders of Icarus. It's on Steam, it's free, and it's 17 gigs. So let's give it a go. From the Steam pictures alone, I'm getting really strong Terra vibes, and I quite liked Terra. They're both action combat MMOs, both have an over-the-top graphic style, and they even have a silver metallic font that looks similar. Launch the game and I get to choose between the Americans or Eurasia server. That's a word you don't see used too much anymore, combining Europe and Asia, but I like it. Eurasia. The castle background and sounds are quite nice though, so I click play and the game spends some time authorizing. It spends a lot of time authorizing. 10 minutes in and we are still authorizing. Okay, this isn't working, so I force stop the game, head into Steam, and do some old verify integrity of game cache. While doing this, I check the comments. Seems other people have had the same problem. 21 files failed to validate. How? I literally just downloaded this. I mean, this is as fresh as an install can get. Well, I revalidate them and launch the game again. Oh, notice how this little game guard thing pops up. That's included with the game. It's nothing to do with me. Now I don't even have a server choice. And it's still stuck on the authorizing screen. Right, full uninstall, full reinstall. Let's try again. And guess what? It's still broken. I think maybe it's undergoing maintenance or updates, so I wait a few hours, try and play it then. Nope, still broken. I spend some serious time re-evaluating everything. I revalidate all the files, I uninstall everything, I reinstall everything, I do everything I can think of, but nothing. I just can't seem to play this game. Well, that's not entirely true. There is technically a way I can experience this game. You see, Riders of Icarus is actually an exact copy of another game called Icarus Online. I could just download Icarus Online and play that instead. It would be the same game, but a slightly different experience because there's a small issue with doing that. Icarus Online is entirely in Russian, and my knowledge of the Russian language is limited, by which I mean I don't speak or read any Russian. But I mean, that's a stupid idea. I'm not going to download a game in a language I can't understand just for a YouTube video, am I? Right, I'm going to guess the large green button is start, and I am right! Yeah, this is going to go fine. First issue, my PC doesn't have a Russian character font, so all text just shows up as a string of question marks, and I am regretting this decision more and more. Server choice. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance I pick the right thing, so here goes, and okay, I guess that was wrong. Let's click the other. Good start. Ah, character creation. We have made it further than I expected. So you've got your classes, you've got Big Sword Lady, Two Sword Lady, Wizard Lady, and what the hell is this? Tiny Child class. Oh god, this really is terror. I'm going to play as Man with Sword and Shield. Now we can customize how we look. There's a lot of sliders and each slider does something. This one makes your hands bigger. I'm going to guess this box is to set my name. So I do, and oh, it doesn't like that. Maybe if I remove the spaces. Yes, that worked! Now we're given a choice of what looks like mouse aiming or action camera. I like how it's given me a choice and used picture examples, because player choices are always good, and pictures are the only way I'm going to understand this. So let's go for action. Loading screen tips. I will make sure to remember that. That's good advice. Game starts, opening cinematic. We are suffering from some sort of nightmare, probably because we're sinking into and clipping through the bed quite a lot. We start off in a prison cell. WASD movement, space is jump. We are freed from the cell by a mysterious benefactor and grab a weapon from the nearby stand. Thankfully, every single context action highlights the key you need to press, and it's mostly F. I can see from the icons we've got attacks and abilities bound to the left and right click, and then along the numbered keys 1 to 9. You can, however, only attack when you're in range of something. You can't just swing your sword randomly. Holding Alt seems to unlock the cursor for free mouse movement. I give the ability tooltips a quick read, fill myself in on what they do. Yes, that ability does exactly what I thought it did. I'm glad I read these. I feel much more prepared. More cinematics. The history of the world is explained. It is deep and tragic and compelling, probably. This guy punches another dude off a flying dragon thing though, which is kinda cool. Every item, tooltip, character name, every instance of any text anywhere is just question mark. I do briefly think to myself, maybe I should install a Russian font pack, see what it says. It takes me a moment to realise how dumb this idea is, given the fact that I can't read Russian. The first boss fight is apparently against Rocksteady from the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. It's got all the tactical depth of bury your face in its arse and click a lot. I also seem to be part of a team, and we're all escaping together. Taking down the first mini-boss earns me an award. I'm sure you can all read what that says, so I'm not going to bother explaining it. Our escape attempt continues, and we find some horses. Very well trained horses, actually. They leave the cages and line up waiting. Ah, they are winged horses. Pegasuses. We ride out of the prison and fly away, and the flying is super smooth and very responsive. While flying, this picture tooltip tells me to double tap space for a boost. I am so glad this game has pictures with its tutorials. We fly up and away and land on a giant flying sky manta. Okay, look, Terra had a sky whale. Anime style armor, silver font, awkward little girl classes. I think you're copying Terra a little too closely here, game. This loading tip lets me know I can press F, and then something about an NPC. Good to know. We get ambushed. A wooden ballista bolt hits the wooden deck of a wooden ship, and so of course they explode into flames. We crash down into the forest below, and when I wake up there's a camp. How does this always happen in games? Either someone has set this camp up within seconds of the crash, which is very, very good training, or we happen to have crashed onto a campsite, which seems a little too convenient. Let's just talk about conventions, standardization, and normalization. As a genre becomes more established and a gameplay mechanic or loop becomes well known, we as players expect it more and need to think about it less. So even though I can't read anything, I know what conventions I'm immediately looking for. I'm likely going to need to find someone with a symbol above their head and interact with them, accept a quest, likely to be shown by a question mark or an exclamation mark symbol. Then the game will introduce me to basic mechanics, killing enemies, collecting items dropped by enemies, or collecting items from the world itself. This NPC has a symbol above their head, and so far I've interacted with everything with the F key, so I do that, and I'm guessing the star or question mark speech options are quests, and the speech bubble is additional fluff. I go through the options, more windows pop up, probably explaining basic systems, but let's see how far I can get just following what I assume the game is trying to tell me. There's more NPCs around, so let's just collect all of the quests. Accepting this quest has made these boxes sparkle, which is probably a sign I need to pick them up. Oh, would you look at that? I was right. We're in a forest, so it's an MMO lore that we need to kill some boars. The combat system is nice, but I dislike the fact you can only attack what you're locked onto. It's not freeform. If you're close to an enemy, but not locked onto them, you still can't attack. Oh, thank God, look at that. Accepting a quest adds it to the quest list on the right-hand side. But each quest has a tiny circle with an arrow around it acting like a compass, and then a distance in meters showing how far I am from the right area. The minimap is also highlighted, showing what general area the enemies or items or whatever I need is in. This is brilliant. It's so intuitive I can actually play the game. This medic lady has a quest for me. I am willing to bet all of my gold on all the MMOs I've ever played it's going to be help injured soldiers, and lo and behold, it is go and help injured soldiers. These early quests are so generic. I mean, I'm guessing all of them, but it's highly likely that you are too. Oh, and if you try and perform an attack while not locked onto anything, this Russian lady shouts at you. This guy needs some water collected from the local pool. While fighting local enemies, I discover the game has a soft combo system. Some attacks or abilities chain super quickly into others. Sometimes a prompt flashes up on the screen to help me link them, another similarity to Terra. Let's check the options menu. Yep, that is definitely an options menu. Good to see it's all there. I don't think I need to explain this. This is pretty self-explanatory to everyone. You can click and drag abilities from the ability menu to your hotbar, and I found the ability menu by pressing every key. It's K. This is also a Terra feature. You know what? I'm just going to play this game as if it was Terra, and I should be fine. Captain needs 3 more quests, and I'm loving how the minimap shows me where to go. It's a very intuitive user interface. The combat's great, it's slick, the abilities chain nicely, but it doesn't feel dangerous. I am never in any danger of losing. It's less fun to play something when you realise the chance of failure is basically nil. You really do press the F key for everything. Interacting, talking, looting. If you talk to an NPC with several new quests for you and you just spam the F key, you will slowly accept every one and then leave the combo. It's amazingly convenient if you don't want to pay attention. P opens the profile. You can see your equipped items and probably some stats. Yeah, there's definitely some stats there. Pick up some barrels because they are sparkling. Oh, and gather some mushrooms. This game probably has crafting, but I think trying to decode a crafting system when I only have the question mark symbol to go off might be tricky. Is this intuitive design, or proof that an experienced player can understand your systems with no text, or is it just a stagnant, uninspired game mechanic? We'll discuss both later on. I get a new item, but I can't equip it because the tooltip says it's question mark 4, and in the top left you'll see I'm only question mark 3, so I need to gain some more question marks. I spent some time killing some wolves, and then yeah, now we are question mark 4, time for some new items. I wonder if I can gently pet this unicorn. No. The first town. I mean, at least the NPCs have names above their heads. It's just a shame all the names are the same. So I chat to this guy. He gives me a quest and a picture prompt pops up. It looks like a teleporter because this is what teleporters look like in Terra. Then right next to me is that teleporter, and interacting with that finishes the quest. See, this is how you use basic pictures and placing of objects to guide the player. Now we're treated to our first really unique system, and the game design actually does a decent job of guiding me through it. The cinematic shows an NPC jumping onto and taming a unicorn. Now, it's my turn. So maybe you just jump onto one. Nope, that's not it. Right, think. How would Terra do this? They would have an ability, so maybe it's an ability. So I open the ability menu, and yes, it's clearly a skill. Clicking this skill puts me into animal taming stance, and if we jump now, yes! We have got one. The unicorn struggles, and we've got 4 buttons show up on screen, most likely a quick time event. So when they flash, and I click, and yeah, it's a taming minigame. After a few clicks, we have a unicorn. Riding is nice. I like how if you turn around 180 with the camera and then press forward, you don't just do a circle but rear up and then land facing the other way. This picture wants me to double tap W, and doing so activates ludicrous speed. Warp speed unicorn. The screen goes all fuzzy and we get speed lines. But is this actually any faster than normal speed? Let's just do a test. Not really. There's a nice speed effect, but you don't actually go that much faster. Report back to the guards. Dude, look at my horse. My horse is amazing. All the old people in the audience just sang the next line. Don't be ashamed. I'm old too. I ride out of the camp eager to go on adventures, then realise I have lots of quests left to accept, so back in we go, and I accept them all. This is a shop, so I buy a mace and some toilet paper. You never know when these things may come in handy. Check this out, the quest list on the right hand side divided itself down into numbered pages you can cycle through, instead of being a single cluttered vertical list. That's a great design choice. More games should do that. F-key my way through more conversations, treated to a short cinematic of small gnolls loading up what look like catapults. Shame. They should have used trebuchets if they need to launch a 90-kilogram projectile over 300 meters. This cinematic plays and... Yeah, well, I agree with everything that man just said. I think we should put that plan into action immediately. I've worked out that blue exclamation marks in the quest list are side quests and the single yellow must be the main story. Again, intuitive design or generic standardization. You decide. How do I get off the unicorn? Ah yes, the first truly challenging piece of content. No buttons work. I press everything, so... Maybe the horse counts as a buff, and if I right-click on the horse symbol, it will stop. Yeah, that worked. This game needs me to kill some more question marks, so I annihilate some question marks. This quest, over on the right-hand side, has a little quest image of a bomb under its name. That probably means I have to use a bomb item to complete an objective. Maybe it's blow these siege engines up, and... Yep. That's exactly right. My god, I have played way too many of these games. Fight my way all the way through the enemies to get to the enemy camp. The combat, while still fun, is starting to get repetitive. I find a treasure chest alone in a little enclave. It looks important, but it's locked. Then I go and kill the chief of the camp and get a key, and now the chest is sparkling and unlocked. I knew it would be important. This pop-up tooltip shows me I can click the stone in my inventory and it will do something. So I try, and I wonder if it's like a hearthstone and teleports me back to a nearby village. Yep, it is exactly that. Run around, hand in all the quests I've finished, mash the F key many times and reach question mark 5. Even more quests. I valiantly accept them all and ride out into a world fraught with danger. Fraught, I say. So I can summon the unicorn and then unsummon it, but can I click and drag the abilities that do this to the keys to rebind them in the game? Yes. Yes, I can. I can now mount with 8 and dismount with right click. That's better. All games should be this easy to rebind. I learn a new skill, the chain grab attack. Lash out and drag enemies to me. This makes fighting further away things much quicker. Right, now the first major roadblock. This quest needs me to do something involving these enemies. They keep running away and disappearing, but it's not killing them. I've tried. I've killed a load. I've used every ability. I've even tried luring them to places. I've used all the items, and I'm not advancing. I'm guessing I've got to use a very specific action at a very specific moment, and I just can't work out the combination of moves the game needs me to do, so this might be the first quest I'm going to have to leave. I open the skills menu, I cast every self buff, I cast every aggressive attack, I use all the items, I even unequip and re-equip stuff, I try using everything I can think of, and nothing seems to work. I don't know what this quest wants, but it has defeated me. I accept a quest by a big blue portal I need to go through. Maybe it will fling me to a far off land and... Nope. No, it's just a short loading screen and now we are here. This is probably used to hide loading zones and reduce render distance. There's a person hurt on the floor by a griffin. I agree to do... something. Then fly the griffin around. This is a very small area. Maybe the blue portal divides where you can and can't fly. I fly this griffin over to the other side, then I steal its nest. My nest now. And then back to the injured person we go. Here you go, dude. I brought you a griffin's nest. Do with it what you will. I fill in the commander-looking guy on my nest-stealing antics, and he seems happy, so good job me. Now the first combat encounter with some actual challenge. This wolf, he's got more health than most, but I've got a new attack. I can just kick stuff in the crotch. It's high damage and knocks enemies down, so I kick a wolf to death. That sounds like a very Russian thing to do. Wolf dead, and I can plunder these sparkling skeletons. What does the commander want from these skeletons? Don't know, don't care. This is a modern MMO, just follow the sparkles. He seems thrilled that we plundered them so well. I am doing fantastically. So far, the best combo for any fight seems to be wrap a chain around it, pull it towards you, and then kick it in the crotch. I mean, this would also be super effective in real life, so I guess it makes sense it works in a game. Run up the steps and down. These graphics are lovely. The light rays are just gorgeous. This really is a very good looking, smooth playing game. Accepting that quest has made lots of X symbols appear on my minimap. They could be enemies to kill, items to find, locations to go to. Who knows? Let's go and find out. Yeah, these big blue portals are just loading screens between areas. I guess it helps reduce strain on the game by not having the whole world loaded at once. Start this fight with a ghost in the traditional Russian way by kicking it in the ghost balls. One of those minimap X's leads to a summoning circle guarded by a wolf, so I kill the wolf, interact with the circle, and break it. It then says 1 out of 3 broken, so let's go and find 2 more. Break the second, and then the third. A few of the X's disappear from the minimap, but not all of them. The other X's seem to lead me to these kangaroo-like enemies. I spend some time killing them and making no progress, but then, I wonder, can I tame them like I tamed a unicorn? So I go into the animal taming stance, I make the jump, and yes, you can. You can ride the kangaroo, that was the quest. I return triumphantly to the elf astride my majestic kangaroo. I can tell he's impressed. The next quest is timed. 20 minutes, I can see the timer. Now, timers usually kick in when there's a boss or an important event, and the summoning circles were all located around a large castle courtyard, but nothing happened with the main castle. So my first guess is, head back there and see what's changed. I'm probably on the right path because there's a new purple segment of the minimap right in the courtyard centre. We are treated to more important story, more NPCs joining us, and this big ghost being angry, and then a mini-boss fight happens. I open the fight with the traditional Russian method of kicking it in the crotch. Really, I don't know why you'd use any other attack ever. Beating this ghost really isn't that hard. You've got the NPCs tanking most of the hits, and even then he's weak as heck. As is tradition, when giant ghosts die, he turns into a hammer. The game then prompts me to use the recall stone again, so back to the village we go. A tooltip pop-up shows a player doing what looked like imbuing an item with power. There is likely an upgrade system in this game, but I've only got question marks to go off. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not that good. Sell some stuff, ride all the way back to the commander on the cool looking steps and debrief him, explain that a ghost turned into a hammer, and get our next assignment, talk to a fairy, apparently. This small blue fairy tells us something very important, and you can now press F to follow them. This leads us to a gorgeous scenic overlook. Look at that giant tree with pink blossoms in the distance, the waterfall, the landscape, the light rays, the enemies. It all looks super pretty. This is a very attractive game. And while I'm trying my hardest to get a perfect scenic shot, a fairy respawns, attacks me, and ruins the ambience. While I head to the next quest, let's just read some Steam reviews for this game. Yeah, that's accurate. That's quite a harsh review, but I feel it's got some fair critiques. I mean, that's just straight up wrong. Back to the game. Check out this thrilling conversation. God, I agree. You are so right. You are saying what we are all thinking. This tutorial window is just super cryptic. Other times I've been able to work out what it wanted or what it was telling me, but this time, this picture, I've got nothing. I have to fight a tree. Oh, you mean like a giant possessed tree that attacks back with roots and branches? No, just a regular tree. Maybe this is how lumberjacks work in Russia. I've got some scrolls in my inventory. Now, scrolls are usually spells or buffs that you can cast once. Right-clicking on this scroll lets me combine it with something else, so I try and combine it with my sword. It brings up a bar, something is happening, but then a sad noise and my character looks frustrated. Damn, I guess that failed. But this scroll turns my cursor into a gem and opens the mounts list. Ooh, maybe I can make a mount faster or stronger. Let's upgrade the unicorn. So I use it and... I'm sorry, what? Why does the profile picture of my unicorn now have googly eyes and a little bow? And why, when I summon my unicorn, is it tiny? What did that scroll do? I have turned my unicorn from a proud and noble steed into an adorable pet. Hey, at least while it's summoned, you can see it has abilities listed as Shift 1, Shift 2. That's probably Shift 1, 2, 3, and 4 for attacks. Oh, cool! It's basically a combat pet now. Nice. Me and my tiny unicorn fight our way through the trees and through the fairies to reach the King Fairy. The fight starts. I think about dueling with honor, courage, or tactics, but now this is a Russian game, so I just kick it in the crotch till it dies. Report back to the camp. I let everyone know I kicked a fairy to death with the power of crotch kicks, and they all are very impressed, and absolutely everyone now has a quest for me. Seriously, there's so many quests and rewards, I run out of inventory space. I need to keep dropping items to accept or hand in quests, but I don't know what's an important quest item and what's useless junk. I can guess the red potions are just health, and I don't seem to need that, so away you go. Combat's still nice, but the main gameplay loop is just repetitive. Accept a quest and do a thing, accept a quest and do a thing, accept a quest and do a thing. It's very samey. At least the enemies are getting a little tougher, giving me a chance to use all my abilities and discover some new combos before they die. There's a waterfall. This is a video game. That means hidden secrets. Disappointing game. Very disappointing. How can you subscribe to every generic trope of every MMO, but you don't include a hidden room behind a waterfall? Poor show. This box prompts me to hold control and press stuff. So I hold control and press everything. Nothing seems to do much, but pressing F brings up the shop. I'm not really sure what I'd be buying or spending, so I very carefully close this menu. I rescue this gopher thing from a cage and then fight my way through the enemy camp. Lots of enemies in a very small area means I'm constantly aggroing everything, and they're not dangerous in small groups, but I am noticing my health go down substantially more when there's more of them. Interact with some more sparkly pots. Why? Dunno. They were sparkling. That means interact with them. There's some jewelry in these treasure chests. Seems I need 3 pieces. I do that easily enough. I drag a healing item onto my hotbar. The first free space seems to be F1. Does anyone use the function keys much anymore? I know they were useful when remapping hotkeys wasn't a thing, but now you're able to hold down Shift, Control, and Alt while clicking the same key, effectively meaning each key is 4 different binds. We probably have enough without getting the function keys involved. Louise? Louise? Louise. Look at that minimap. A path leading to the end of the enemy camp with a quest marker at the end. That is the most mini-boss looking area ever. You know there's going to be a fight there. Yeah, there was. It's a big dude on a bigger pig. The fight is disappointing. No challenge at all, really. He knocks me down once or twice, but I never feel in danger, meaning I don't feel accomplished when I ultimately kill him. Hang on. I've killed him, but not his mount. I wonder. Yep, you can steal his mount. You can probably mount and ride quite a lot of things in this game. It's basically advertised as being a game where you can ride anything around. If I had longer, I'd probably try and capture and tame everything. I ride this mount all the way back through the camp to assert my dominance over everyone else. Yeah, I'm on your boss's pig. What are you going to do about it? Hand in all the quests and get a load more. Lather, rinse, repeat. There's an odd graphical glitch in the distance with shadows. This square shape seems to fade in and out of light. I get intrigued by stuff like this because I just don't know why it happens. Pressing N opens the crafting menu and... yeah, I mean that seems simple enough. There's no need for me to explain that. I'm sure you all get what's going on. The next quest sends me to kill some spiders, and honestly, it's just more of the same. So let's wrap up with a game design discussion. One of 3 things has happened here. Either 1, I've played far too many MMOs and can spot the conventions a mile away and don't need the tutorial. Or 2, the tutorial of this game is so intuitive and user interface friendly that you don't even need language to understand it. Or 3, the MMO genre is so stagnant and this game has copied so many of the established conventions while taking no risks at all, it's possible to understand the game by just pretending it's other games. The truth is likely all three combined. MMOs are expensive to make, and taking a risk in game design is always gambling a lot of money, so often companies will just copy what already works. I feel Icarus has taken what other action MMOs did well and just slapped it all together. Their only real risk was the taming and mounting system, which is actually pretty good. I wish they did more with that. Is it the worst MMO? Well, no, it's fine. But the fact I was able to get as far as I did without even reading the language goes to show that it's so generic, so standardized, so similar to so much already out there that it's not able to set itself apart in the market. You won't get remembered unless you take more risks, and that always comes with a chance of failure, which is something this game does not have, either in design or in gameplay. Why would you play this over Terra? Why would you play this over Neverwinter? Why would you play this over any other action MMO? So many questions. Why are the systems the same? Why didn't the English language version work? Why is there a little girl class? With all these questions and no answers, the final rating for Riders of Icarus / Icarus Online is lots of question marks out of 10. Cheers for watching! If you want more worst MMO ever or general gaming content, then drop a like or sub to the channel. A massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and Twitch subs who make all my videos possible and let me do what I do. Comment down below with any game you think deserves the title of worst MMO ever, and check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter and Discord. And as always, have a great day.